Hello, family. This is Charles Thomas coming back at you. Peace, shalom, assalamu alaikum. And just another edition, another quick 30 minutes or so discussion. I'm still trying to convey, and it's on my heart, to clarify what we've been through as a people. And I think it's important for us to have this discussion. And the real purpose the objective that I have to share is for us to get to know our inner person, the spirit that was within us. And I talked to a subscriber named Mickey out in California. He wanted me to open up with Fatiha, but I want to explain what the Fatiha is. Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, this is a prayer that's recommended for a righteous person to connect to your spiritual person. But a people that is in the condition that we've been in because of slavery, we have to understand that we are a spiritual people. And so you have to connect to your spiritual person and be in harmony with creation, because you are a created person from the soil that God created, the original man. So we have to be in tune with nature, because nature is the provider. Mother Earth is the provider for the natural man and is in harmony. And we have to adjust our spiritual to the harmony of creation, because Christianity took us from that natural harmony. And I'm going to read the Fatiha the way that it should be read, using those key words that we discussed in previous videos. And I'm reading from the meaning the meaning of the Holy Truth. Quran means truth, right? So this is what I'm reading from, the meaning of the Holy Truth, if you can see that. Okay, so when I see Allah, is really righteousness. So instead of me saying Allah, I'm explaining to you that Allah is righteousness, because the word Allah is H for the head, and 2 arms for the A's, and 2 L's represent the leg. It's a diagram of Adam, a blueprint of Adam. So this is what the Prophet, peace be upon him, recommended the prayer that we would say before we do anything, before you leave your house, before you take on any obligation. Always say this prayer, but say it in this manner. It says, in the name of righteousness, most gracious, most merciful, praise be to righteousness, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds, most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment. Thee do we worship, and thine aid do we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, those whose portion is not wrath, and who go not astray. That's the Fatiha. And you're building a relationship with your inner person. Your inner person is righteous. Okay, and you're trying to connect with righteousness that is in the universe. And because of the conditioning that we have endured under Christianity, we have to get back to our original self and reacquaint ourselves to righteousness, which is our nature, and Mother Earth. and righteousness will protect you in any endeavor that you take. And when you're reading the Quran and using those key words, it's very important for you to understand, because of the condition, you're in a very delicate situation as a people, and righteousness has made a new people. And since we are coming out of the darkness of Christianity into a new light of understanding, then you have to understand and learn how to forgive yourself because of what the influence of somebody else has done to you. So you're trying to develop your spiritual person and build a relationship with that spirit that's within you. So that's what Fatiha is all about. You want to get back on the straight path, because Christianity is and religion is man-made. Islam, righteousness, is natural. It's from God. It's from your Creator. And it's the one that you have to satisfy or appease. Because in Genesis, the apple that Satan used was religion. It's to tempt it. It tempts you to think that religion will resolve your problems. But religion don't resolve your problems. Religion gives you problems. Righteousness will reveal itself to you and lead you and give you understanding of the direction or the path that you must follow. Because the road to hell is crowded. And very few people know about the path of righteousness, because we've been conditioned through Christianity to depend on religion. And even the Arabs have made Islam into a religion. But religion is man-made, and man is man's indoctrination to control. But righteousness is what you were created to live by, and as a guide for you in the rest of your life. And when you're reading the Quran, make sure that you say, instead of saying Allah, because you know Allah is a diagram of a man or a woman. So say righteousness, because He created you in righteousness. And even in the Bible, when you see Lord, it ain't talking about Lord or bishop or anything else from the Christian theology or the Christian culture. No, it's talking about the Lord that's within you, the righteous that's within you. That's what you should read when you're reading the Bible. When you come across Lord, say righteous. We have to recondition ourselves to understand the importance and the significance of being a righteous person and a righteous people. That's who built the pyramid. You have been through something so horrific that your mind can't wrap itself around the torment and torture and the conditioning of religion. That's how devastating it was. That was the fiery furnace. So you have to enlighten yourself with righteousness to come to forgive yourself and come out of that religious indoctrination from the Catholic Church. My wife was reading this book by an author. I can't think of the author's name, but the author explained to her, and she brought this to my attention, that Christianity and America was built on human trafficking. You can't make it any plainer than that. I mean, that blew my mind when she said that, because that would put it, because if you went to a world tribunal or a court and you would explain what Christianity did to us, you could put it in a nutshell, that it was human trafficking. We built America, and we gave America her wealth, but they had to export us into this country to build their wealth as a people. You were stolen from your home and brought here to America. And I'm not putting America down, because I've been around the world and I've seen the conditions of other countries. And it ain't no picnic. So don't get me twisted. I ain't saying that I hate America, nothing like that. I'm just saying that America has great standards, but it creates a paradox with religion. And to understand your condition, the best way is to know these key words. Like Allah is righteousness. Lord is righteous. And we have to connect or get in harmony with righteousness. And your ancestors that made it to heaven, they made it because of their righteousness. And when you connect to your righteousness, you connect to your ancestors. And your ancestors will enlighten you with guidance and protection. But you have to convince yourself to believe in righteousness. And that's what a Fatiha is saying. And it's important for you to understand the significance of the prayer of Fatiha and what it can do to you and bring to you. And I'm going to read it again, because I say it every morning before I leave the house. It says, in the name of righteousness, most gracious, most merciful, praise be to righteousness, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds. Most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment, you'll be judged by your righteousness. Thee do we worship, and thine aid do we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, those whose portion is not wrath, and who go not astray. You can't go astray from righteousness, because if you do, you'll be right back in where you started. And nobody's going to tell you in the church or in Islam that Allah is righteousness. This is something that you have to experience yourself, because everybody's different. But righteousness is the same. Righteousness is the root that connects everybody. We are all connected because of righteousness. And Satan created religion to divide and conquer the unrighteous. You see, Satan was there when God created Adam. So Satan knew the weaknesses of Adam. So the first thing that he told his creator, that he's going to create something that when you come back to redeem your people, that they will not recognize you, because he was going to create a religion that would take you out of that covenant of righteousness, so that he could control you and manipulate you and confuse your mind and your spirit. This is what Satan, Lucifer, did. This is what caused slavery. And the Catholic Church financed it. And the Catholic Church created religion so that it could create the Trinity, and that it could create the Pope and that it could create the white image on the cross. I'm gonna let that sink in. This is what religion has done to us. Religion was the apple that they called it apple. The apple was innocent fruit that was created by righteousness. It wasn't an apple, it's religion that was the forbidden fruit. And once you understand and start reading, read the Quran and understand that Allah is righteousness. And the Quran means truth. Instead of saying Quran, say truth. Instead of saying Allah, say righteousness. And instead of saying, and not saying Lord, and say righteous. And that'll be a good help. That'll put you on the path of the straight way. Religion is destroying the world. That's why everybody's fighting over there in the Middle East over religious ideologies and tradition. Religion is killing mankind and the original man. And that's what Satan is supposed to do. But you got to understand that you have to come out from under the influence. Because if you go back to Genesis, and the reason that they threw him out of the garden was because Satan whispered into their ear and told them that they could live forever if they would be obedient and eat this religion, digest this religion. And it was sweet going down, but when it hits your stomach, it just tears you up. It takes your soul to another level and another dimension. You have to come to grips and come to terms that religion has caused the world to be divided. And because of who we are as a people and what we've been through as a people, there's no excuse for us to linger on to religion because of what Christianity has done to us under religion. Nobody else did this but religion to us. That's why you don't know your history, you don't know your name, you were stolen and you were sold into slavery and you were treated as a slave. You couldn't read for 300 years. You don't know your name, you don't know your history. And everybody in the Bible was white. It's a white image. And they even made Enoch a white image. And Enoch said that he was an Ethiopian. You got to realize what you're dealing with. You're dealing with wickedness. And the church ain't going to help you because the church has lost itself. The cross is a symbol for white supremacy. That's why they burned the cross, because they used to sacrifice melanin people to appease the white image that they put on the cross, to boost their spirit of hatred. Come on, y'all. This is real. And all I'm asking you to do is to be truthful to yourself and to be honest with yourself and know where you are and know how you got here. And there's nothing going to change until you change. And if you don't change, you are bound for judgment. When you die, the deal is done. You got to learn these truths while you're living and implement them. Implement righteousness and truth in order to make a difference in the world. The whole world is waiting on African Americans to wake up, because this chaos is happening because you're not in your rightful place as a righteous man. I look at the Hispanic people. They've never been to Spain, but they speak Spanish. You know, the Catholic Church is thick as ticks down there. And in Africa too. Worshiping idols. That's what they do. They pushing Mary. And I listened to a tape by W.D. Muhammad. May Allah be pleased with him and grant him paradise. He was explaining crucifixion, the symbolism of Jesus, how Mary was rejected, and that she was a sign of what was to come with a people that didn't have a father figure in their life. And that's us. They couldn't find a place to live. Nobody wanted them. Like us. Melanin people. Nobody wants to be connected to melanin people. Even when you go to Africa, there's an undertow of discontent for melanin people from America because of the condition that we've been exposed to, and we didn't fight back. We were more better Christians than white Christians. You know? And we still try to love everybody. And we know that everybody don't love us because of the image of Hollywood put out there pertaining to our lifestyle. Yeah, they know you was a slave. They know you have fear in you. But you're fearing man. You're not fearing God. You got to fear righteousness. Righteousness will punish you because your ancestors broke the covenant of righteousness, and righteousness punished you for being disobedient to righteousness. When you're created to be something and you're not being what you're created to be, you're being punished because you're not doing what you were committed to do. And that was to be obedient to righteousness. Everybody that got on the boat with Noah, they were righteous. The animals did what they were created to do. Man is the only one, because of free will, chooses religion over righteousness. And you pay the price with your life. And you know what I'm telling you is the truth. Christianity will kick your butt. And it ain't going to let up off of you neither. It's going to keep its foot on your neck until you die and go to judgment. And when your angel asks you these questions of who did you worship, and you tell them you worship the cross, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to get it right. I want to be a righteous man while I'm living. And I don't want to carry the guilt that we crucified somebody else. We crucified a prophet. We didn't crucify nobody. The Roman Catholic Church crucified a righteous person, and that is you. You the crucified. That's why there's nobody in the tomb, because they hadn't performed the crucifixion on you yet. It's a process that they had to go through in order to fill that grave. Purgatory. And he filled it with us intentionally. Hate don't like righteousness. The devil runs from the truth. He don't like love. He don't like unity. And that's the condition that we in as a people. We hate unity. We hate working together. based on how we've been treated under Christianity. We have a dislike for one another. We have a dislike for success and for community life. And it's not going to change until we change within ourselves and forgive ourselves for doing what Christianity has conditioned us to do nothing for ourselves. When you study and look at nature and you see a little bitty ant working, sacrificing for the ant hive, it's all in nature, working together for survival. If white folks die, we're going to die. They used to say that if a white man catch a cold, black folks get pneumonia. And that's true. We don't even produce toilet paper to wipe our butt because of fear of being independent of white people, because they don't want you to be independent. So we conform to what they want us to conform to. They created us in fear through slavery, to be afraid of them. And they've done a good job. It's a perpetual motion. So my 30 minutes is about up. And I'm sorry, but I published this book. It says African American self-hate. Churches stimulate the issue that come along with self-hate. And they do that by teaching you to worship the image of another man on the cross. And to show you that white supremacy is no good, what I did and what my spirit told me to do is to do the American flag and show more about God's creation than the stars and the stripe division. The universe is more important to us than division, stars and stripes. This is a little short book that I published, and it's available to you on Amazon. And this is the other book, The Act, A Covenant Transformation. The covenant carries more weight than religion, but you have to understand the book. Covenant transformation. And what stimulated my spirit was this book, your inner, key to your inner power, key to how to function your melanin and your pineal gland, how the Allah is set up. You got the head, you got the two arms, and you got the two legs. And Abba and Allah, Kabbalah. That's the name of this book. And it's a good read. It's a good read. And I highly recommend it. It will stimulate you to know you're a spiritual person within you. You got to ignore the white images, but it's still effective. Just the material in it. So I highly recommend these books. And the Fatiha. And I'm going to read it again. You got to get this. In the name of righteousness, most gracious, most merciful, praise be to righteousness, the cherisher and sustainer of all the worlds, most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment. Thee do we worship, and thee aid do we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, those whose portion is not wrapped, and who go not astray. Righteousness is in all the worlds. When you leave here, whatever dimension that you go to, you got to deal with righteousness. But if you want to go to a higher plane, be more proactive with righteousness and obedience to righteousness. Stay away from guilt. Guilt, when you feel guilt, you're off the path of righteousness. So stay on the path of no guilt. And I love you, and peace and guidance, and may Allah bless you. May righteousness bless you. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom, and goodbye.